It's finally that time of the month again. No, not that time of the month. Whatever, roll the intro. This is the next Monster Catcher indie game with resource collection, exploration, and strategy-based combat. If that sounds like fun to you, then make sure and follow the journey of the game's development through these bi-weekly updates. Last time we had some fun learning how to code using effective stacked arrays, loops, and data structures, which was a mighty improvement to my idiotic 1,000 if statements everywhere, and we ended off the video with a combat system. Well, none of these buttons actually do anything, and in order to have a combat system, we may need to make attacking work in the fight. So yeah, let's get to making our combat do something. Before we do any important work though, why not procrastinate and create a bunch of half-ass animations for all the monsters to make them feel a little bit more alive. Okay, now with a few for loops and some if statements, we can make the move button move our monsters. Yeah, well, you know what? We can fix it in post-production after. I really did not like the animations, so I attempted this whole thing over and ended up just manipulating the X and Y scale of the sprites to create a somewhat random looking breathing effect. I think this looks much cleaner, as with the old frame-by-frame animation, there was too much variation in how the monsters were animated, and it was way too chaotic to look at. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel to boost my ego. I went ahead and added my own custom font, smacked that into the game as well, and then I wanted to create a status bar that will display all the required information about the selected creature. There's a profile to show you who you are selecting, their name, all of their stats, status conditions, and the tiles conditions. There are 8 total stats, so I'll break them down now. You got HP, which is just your monster's health, MP for your current mana, which you will use for attacking. Every move will have a type assigned to it, dealing either class damage or elemental damage, and so we created EA, CA, ED, and CD for elemental and class attack and defense stats. Lastly, we have intelligence for the strength of things like weather, status conditions, and move bonuses. And wisdom will affect the amount of attacks a creature can have in their move pool, while also allowing a creature to have a higher chance of getting rid of a status condition every turn. Alright, fine. I think it's time we stop procrastinating and get to the actual attack portion of the devlog. Guys, I do not like to lie to you, so I'll tell you exactly how it went down. Long story short, I got lazy, and instead of trying to use a bunch of origin points and coordinates to display information that you can plug into a few strings and integers like I did with the status bar, I ended up creating a crap ton of sprites, drawing in all the information pixel by pixel. 2 8-hour work blocks later, I had all of the sprites in game and starting to finally get attacking to function on a basic level. After selecting a monster to attack with, you will be given a list of all of their available actions to use. When hovering over an action, you will be given a second pop-up menu to display more information like damage, mana cost, additional status conditions that moves can inflict, and the grid spaces it will affect. There will usually only be one primary grid space and some secondary spaces, but obviously there are always going to be exceptions to the rules. Using the same system we did for selecting teammates, my brother got selection on the enemy grid working to attack the enemies, and with that, we have some form of combat. A lot still needs to be expanded on this, as currently it only shows the primary target you are attacking, and it won't display the secondary squares your attack will hit, but these things will take time, and this works for now, so it is what it is. We can move, we can attack, but we can't have a working combat with only one team attacking. We wanted to figure out a different way of doing ally and enemy attacking. I don't really want to go the route of most turn-based RPGs and make everyone attack at the same time, so we ended up creating a combat system where a turn consists of 2 phases. You have an offensive phase where you can do all of the things we have mentioned up until now, move a monster around, attack enemies, rest to recover mana, and use an item if you so choose. But then you will swap over to a defense phase where you can either move, use an item, or just pass to end your turn. If you haven't noticed, we do not have a speed stat in our game. Because of this, all of your moves will happen in the order that you selected them in, which will come in handy to create strategic plays where maybe an attack will be stronger when an enemy has lower health, so you can use that move last to get the maximum benefit from it. Or maybe a creature will get bonuses for every monster with a status condition. You get the point. There are a lot of ways you can strategize your attacks with this system, and I just found that doing a speed stat wasn't really necessary for us. The last thing to get done is to add in a super simple AI for the enemy team so that you have an opponent to face off against. We were pretty pooped out after all of the things we got done earlier, so we decided to cheat and take the easy route of creating an AI that will just pick a random action from their move pool and attack a random tile on your grid. Obviously, this is just placeholder code, but I'm not gonna lie, these enemies are still pretty damn smart. 100% accuracy on these bots, so don't let stupid coding fool you. RNG is top-notch AI. With all said and done, I am very happy with our progress, but we have so much more to get done and show you guys over the next few months. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as apparently a lot of you guys aren't big fans of the subscribe button, but hey, don't worry about it, it's only my feelings you're hurting. All jokes aside, I appreciate every last one of you, and I hope to see you in the next video, but until next time, have a great life.